So you know that saying they say about history, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it? So let me explain that in terms of muzzleloading. The muzzleloading rifle was developed in the 17th century, and specifically in 1610, when inventor came to King Louis VIII and presented him the first flintlock rifle. So a lot of people think, well, that's what we should be using. We should be using those first style rifles. Well, I mean, look at that. That's well over 400 years ago. We started with the flintlock rifle. That stayed with us for over 200 years when the Caplock Rifle was developed. The Caplock Rifle was an improvement on the flintlock, and that was replaced by percussion locks. And that stayed with us until about the late 1800s, when they developed muzzleloaders that included the bullet, the primer, and the powder all in one housing, which was a large advancement over those guns previously. That stayed with us for about 100 years, all the way till 1985, when Knight Rifles, Tony Knight, came up with the inline rifle. And that's where we are today. The biggest thing that inline rifles did was improve safety, improve accuracy, and improve consistency in shooting. Safety first and foremost, when we started using Pyrodex and Pyrodex pellets and percussion caps and even saboted bullets, and things really started to advance. Has it really improved muzzleloading distances? Yes, it has. I mean, you used to go from, you know, a flintlock rifle, you know, if you're talking about a patched round ball, in some cases, Pennsylvania, I know they still have areas where you have to shoot those much shorter distances. So my personal opinion on this, my definition of a muzzleloader is it's a one-shot deal, you know. You still have to load that bullet from the muzzle. Some people say you have to do it all from the muzzle. I don't necessarily agree with that. I've shot some of these new rifles where you have the charge that goes in through the breech. You still have to load that bullet through the muzzle. You still have to be consistent. You still have to make the shot. And if you want to make a follow-up shot, you're going to have to scramble to try to get another bullet down there. It's nice stuff to embrace. It's no different than bow hunting, how bow hunting has progressed over the past 50 or 60 years. It's no different than crossbow hunting now involved. It's an extra thing, and that's the way I look at muzzleloading. It's unique, and it's something that we all should embrace.
Deer and Deer Hunting is brought to you by
So the great thing about Iowa is you get to hunt in a different season with the muzzleloader, and this new Paramount you set me up with.
Yep.
What a unit.
Yeah, this is the new Cva Paramount Pro, and it has some incredible features on it. This is our long-range muzzleloader, and I can tell you, I've watched animals taken out to 400 yards with this. Flat shooting, tons of velocity. You're getting over 2,500 feet per second coming out of the barrel.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is. And what I love about this gun is most of your shots around here are 100 to 200 yards. You sight this gun in, I like to sight mine in to be dead on at 150, and it's gonna hit. So 100 to 200, you just put it right on them.
X marks the spot, and you're done.
It does. But some of the great features about this gun, of course, it's a bolt action, and so what it does is it takes the Variflame. Now this Variflame right here, you can see I've got it on the magnetic capper per se, and that Variflame is very unique, and it takes a large rifle primer. And what we found is the consistency versus a 209 shotgun primer is incredible. I mean, you don't get the variances, so you get better accuracy. Of course, this gun has a premium Bergara barrel on it. Now it's nitrided, so it protects the inside and the outside of the barrel, and then it has an additional layer of protection in that it's Cerakoted. And plus it gives it that tan color. Some of the other things I like about it, it's got the flush cup sling attachments right here. It also has two of your swivel studs, so you can put a bipod on it. You know, you're shooting long range with it. It's got just a great stock, it's comfortable. And let's not forget about this little compartment right here where you can put Variflames, Has your tool right here for when you want to cap it or put that Veriflame in there. And it's just a really great gun. It's not too heavy. It's comfortable to carry.
And you go to CVA, it's one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
Quake slings,
Yeah.
Your speed loader holders.
Yep. And this comes with it. That's so cool.
Just nice stuff. So I'm kind of excited. Can I have it back so we can go hunting?
Yeah, because I have my own up here.
All right.
So a good example of enjoying muzzleloading is a place like Texas. You probably know I love Texas. I've visited there many times. Their season structure is such that you're not pigeonholed into specific seasons so much. And one of the most memorable hunts I've had was a couple seasons ago. I got to go visit my friend John Heaton down near Abilene. And we hunted in February, which was brand new for me.
We got a deer 115 yards, we're gonna be able to kill him. Guy. Watch him. Watch him.
Well, my season last year was, it was action-packed. We, the Deer and Deer Hunting TV crew and I, we traveled all over the country. We were in Wyoming and we were in Illinois and, we were in Nebraska and we were all over the place. Well, I had a little bit of a scare. Right before I came home, it was in the middle of gun season, so I had traveled to all these states, but we had driven to all these states. And lo and behold, all that traveling caught up to me. I got a DVT blood clot in my leg. And the doctor basically said, your days of sitting in a tree stand are going to be limited, if not completely out for the rest of the year.
One thing I'm thankful about is I've never given up on my roots, and my roots are excitement when it comes to deer hunting. On a special late season muzzleloader hunt, I'm going to be thankful for whatever the Lord puts in front of me, and I'm not going to make any apologies. She just crashed. I am shaking more than normal because this month has been very hard on me. Muzzleloader season, I'm excited. I just had a health scare a couple weeks ago with blood clots, and I'm kind of crazy for being out here, but I thank the Lord for every moment I get outside, and I thank the Lord for every experience. And we have some venison on the ground, buddy. Way to go. Oh my gosh. Here, yeah, there's a chunk of one right here. Oh yeah. Right there. Hey, that's a nice doe. All right. Look at that. With the muzzleloader, and 4 days before my birthday. Very blessed. I can drive my tractor right up to this.
Deer and Deer Hunting is brought to you by
To get up close and personal with deer, to have more consistent encounters, shot opportunities, you got to take advantage of sight, sound, and smell. And that's going to come into play whether you're hunting out of a tree stand in the woods or whether you're hunting out of a hard-sided blind like this Banks over a food plot. Now, you would think that, oh, hunting over a food plot is easier. It's not. I mean, yes, you're going to see more deer, obviously, because you have a food source there. But when it comes to fooling a deer and getting close to them, you have to conquer those three elements to have consistent success. On a food source, the sight situation, you don't always have to believe what people say. They say, oh, you have to brush these things in. I would like to have them brushed in. I would like to have them elevated. Sometimes in this situation, I don't have that opportunity. So in a situation like this, I want that blind out there well in advance. That's going to help because deer do become accustomed to it, no different than a hay bale or something else that might be sitting out there. But as far as the sight situation with the deer, I have to make sure that they're not going to see me in there. And that's why I very rarely hunt with these things with all the windows open. That's number one. Number two is sound. You know, when we're going to talk about the deer's best senses, obviously smell, and that's the third one, is most important. But sound is very important. When you're in a blind, you have to be cognizant of what sounds you're making and what sounds you might make. One little squeak, no different than if you're in a tree stand and that thing squeaks, game over, especially if there's a big buck there. The other thing is with windows, you have to be aware that on some of these blinds, actually all of them, what I like to do is, we call them popping the windows when you get in there, making sure that those hasps are free and open in case I do want to open a window when a deer comes into view and I don't have a shot out that window, so I can move silently and not spook deer. And finally, the last point would be smell. You know, deer are all about their sense of smell, smelling us. So Gary Clancy, the late great outdoor writer, he taught me, and that's when my success really took off, adopt a total scent control program. Notice how I don't say scent elimination. I don't think you can always eliminate scent. You can't eliminate scent completely, but you can control it. And that means when you get these blinds out here, let them air out, spray them down as much as possible, get those foreign odors off of there. They're gonna have a smell, no different than your tree stand's gonna have a smell. And then when I go in there, head to toe, I wanna make sure that I'm spraying my boots, I'm taking a shower with scent killer before I get in there. I'm doing every little thing that I can keep the scent off of me and positioning these blinds to take advantage of predominant winds. So keep these three things in mind: sight, sound, and smell. When you're placing a blind, you're going to be better off when deer season comes around. Okay, if there's anything that I've learned in 40 years of bow hunting is that, you know, archery is not bow hunting, but bow hunting is archery. What I mean by that is I've known a lot of competitive shooters, really awesome guys and gals that are really good archers, but a lot of them, when it comes to bow hunting, they struggle. If you're having problems, here are 3 things that I try to enforce to people when they're first starting to hunt, or if they've been hunting for a while and they're having problems. It comes down to 3 things. Number 1, your draw. Number 2, your anchor. And number 3, your release. On the draw, the biggest problem that I see with people is they're shooting way too much poundage. That's flat out. If it's whether it's a guy or a gal, if you have to struggle and push that forward, you got too much draw weight. So the first thing is you want a smooth draw. That's got to be number 1. Smooth draw means bringing that thing up and as smoothly as possible being able to pull that arrow straight back. If you can pull that arrow straight back, you're going to be in line and you're going to eliminate that problem. Number 2, which is probably the most important thing, is your anchor point. Your anchor point is all about consistency, and you have to be able to repeat it. Repeatability on your anchor point is going to translate if you're hunting in a tree stand or if you're hunting in a ground blind. And if you can do that thing time and time and time again, I always compare it to shooting free throws in basketball. You have that little routine, you shoot the free throw, you make the free throw. When you're anchoring, you got to have those points of contact. For me, it's right in front of my nose and it's right to my lip. If you're not doing that, if you have that string out a little bit, or if you're just kind of trying to eye it up, you can teach yourself to shoot accurately, but you're going to teach yourself bad habits that are eventually going to bite you when it comes to bow hunting and you have a deer in front of you. The third thing is the release. If you're grabbing that bow and holding it as you shoot the bow, or if you're holding it really tight when you come to full draw, they call that torque. And torque is what causes those arrows to go awry, and that really will affect you, like I said, especially in a situation where you don't have a lot of time to react. You're in a tree stand, you're turning around, you're in a ground blind sitting and kind of turning. That's what's really going to affect you. So remember these 3 things, you're going to improve your archery and become a better bow hunter.